Hello there, happy Money Monday, and welcome back to another episode of the Empowered and Abundant podcast. I'm going to kick this week's episode off with a story. Flashback to, oh my gosh, I don't even know when, maybe 2018. So I flew to LA, California, Los Angeles, California, with my mother and my stepfather. And I'm standing in a room of at least 1,000 people, if not more, and I am having a meltdown. I am on the verge of tears. Basically, I'm crying my eyes out. I am bawling. I'm having a meltdown, and I absolutely don't know what to do. So, what the heck was happening? What was going on? I was attending the Dream Builder Live, which is an event put on by Mary Morrissey. If you don't know Mary Morrissey, she's been in the personal growth space for a really long time. She's kind of on par with Tony Robbins, like an OG, big, live your best life, transformation, life coach person. And every year, I'm not sure if she still puts these on, but every year she puts on these big events, I think she does, called Dream Builder Live. And I learned about it through my mother. She learned about it through her coach, Bill Harris, who I've talked about before on the podcast. And Bill Harris, recommended her. And she had gone before with my stepfather. And this was at a point in time where I was really had just begun or were a little bit of a ways into my personal growth journey. I had had my epic rock bottom moment. I had left a relationship that I had no business being in, and I had begun my discovery journey of who am I? What do I want? What's important to me? And peeling away these parts of my life that were no longer serving me. I was at the point where I had finally recognized that life was in my hands. I was the one in control. I was no longer a victim and saw the victim mentality and how it had been affecting me. And I was starting to take back control and take charge of my life, which was a slow and steady process at the beginning because it felt like I had dug myself into a hole and I was standing at the bottom of a really dark, really deep pit. And I was crawling my way out of that pit, developing deeper levels of self-trust, self-love, self-confidence. This was way, way at the beginning. And so my mom says, hey, how about you come to Dream Builder Live with us? So we do. I fly to Los Angeles and I'm there for this weekend long event where it's full day sessions in person in this big hotel conference room. And Mary Morrissey gets up on stage and gives these inspirational speeches, and members of her family do as well. And she tells stories, and then there's activities, and everyone's pumped up and hugging and high-fiving, and the vibes are so great. It's all awesome. It's really fun. It was a really fun energy, a really fun space to be in. And being in that room really got my brain kind of turning for the first time and saying, okay, yeah, I really can create a life that I want to live. I really can be in control. And this was after I had had my own rock bottom moment. This was kind of the first big personal growth investment that I had made outside of, the other personal growth that I was just naturally exposed to growing up. So anyway, time passes. We're at this event. It's probably it's definitely not the first day. I don't know which day it was, but we had been there for a little while. We've gotten into the zone. We've gotten into the groove. And Mary Morrissey does this exercise called the time machine. So you get a partner and you spin around 3 times and you flash forward into your future and you talk to that person, your partner, as if you are in the future. So as if it's been 3 years into the future, you're having this big reunion where you're meeting up again for the first time in 3 years, and you tell them about how great your life is. And that person's job is just to sit there and listen and only like correct you if you start speaking not in present tense anymore. If you start speaking out of like in future tense versus like present tense and past tense. And so we had done this activity a couple of times, I feel like, and I partnered with my mom and did this activity, spun around, and I'm like talking to my mom and I'm telling her about like my life, but I was like struggling. I really struggled with this exercise. I was like having a bit of a hard time, and I wasn't speaking in past or present tense because of like the timeline of 3 years. Like I was in college at the time, so 3 years will have been like I just graduated, like at the point in time when all of this was happening in my life. I don't know what year it was, but at the point in time. And so my mother corrects me. She says, "You're not speaking in past tense or present tense." And I had a breakdown. I'm standing there in this room with a bunch of people, all so happy and like celebrating their amazing, incredible life. And I am freaking out. I am breaking down crying because I am realizing for the first time that I have no idea what I want. I have no idea what I want. I have no idea what my amazing vision looks like. I had never even realized that it was an option that I could consider it. So I hadn't even thought about it because I didn't think I could think about it, because up until that point, I had just been continuing. I had been continuing on the treadmill of life and checking all the boxes and doing the things I thought I was supposed to be doing. I was getting good grades in school. I was gonna like get some successful corporate job. I was managing restaurants at the time. Like I was doing everything right. And yet in that moment, I literally felt so helpless and hopeless and like I had no control over my life, and realized just how much I hadn't even let myself consider what was possible, what I cared about, what was important to me. So that was a really, really hard moment for me. It shook me to my core because in that moment, I realized I had no vision because I hadn't allowed myself to consider that I was allowed to have a vision, that was something that was possible, that I could consider, that I could create for myself. So I hadn't put any time or energy into even allowing myself to go there. So that moment was hard, but it really changed a lot of things for me. And I love to tell this story to my clients because a huge part of the empowered abundance process is about tapping into your vision of your most abundant life. And now, because this was many years ago and I was tapped into my vision, sometimes I forget and I'm like, oh, tapping into your vision, it's the easiest thing. We all know what we want. And then I'm having conversations with my clients and they're like, this was really hard. It was really hard to allow myself the space and time to really consider what I want and what is most important to me. And then I hear them say this and I'm like, oh yeah, actually, I do remember that. Let's flash back to the Dream Builder Live conference when I couldn't do this seemingly easy exercise and I'm holding back tears in a room full of thousands of happy people. So I get it. I've been there. I've also learned that over time, the practice gets easier. And this is why this practice and this step of the empowered abundance process is so important, because we all think that we know what we want, but the amount of time that we allow ourselves to actually get crystal clear on what is genuinely most important to us is very slim. It's very far and few between. especially because in society we are taught to want specific things. So in many ways, I did know what I wanted. I wanted to make a lot of money. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to win at life. I wanted to do it right. I wanted to have freedom and ease and fun. And like I had these general ideas of what I wanted, but for me at that time, they were all things that I was just taught that I should want. Of course I want a lot of money. Of course I want to be successful at my job and at my career, right? Of course I want to be a responsible adult and win at life. Everybody wants those things. But it is very different to tap into you and really get clear on what do you actually want. And it's okay if you want those things. Like, yeah, you can still want like money and success, but at the same time, there's a more specific, unique desire to you. And what I discovered through my own process, this is really where the foundation of the biz hippie comes from, is I was so business focused. I was so success focused. That's what was important to me. In fact, I didn't even care about fun or freedom at all. I only cared about work. I was a workaholic. I was a perfectionist. I was saving money, hoarding money, trying to be responsible and smart with my money. And I just thought that if I kept going, someday happiness would come. But happiness wasn't actually a priority for me. It wasn't something I was actively cultivating. I wouldn't take time off. I wouldn't spend time with family or friends. All I did was work, and feeling competent and productive and successful. Like that was my happy place. But that was all a learned happy place. I learned that in school growing up. When I get good grades, people like me, like the teachers like me. I'm a good person. So I'm very comfortable being here, and I'm just going to keep being here. And therefore, the vision of what I wanted mirrored that. And so we all have very similar surface level visions because it's the vision that we're taught. Versus when we take the time to discover what is genuinely most important to us. I'll never forget the day. This is so silly. I talk about this sometimes on other podcasts, and it's such a small, silly example, but it really, really stuck with me. Is one time, as I was still climbing out of this hole, it was right around the same time that I went to Dream Builder, either like just before or just after. And I was still in this process of discovering who am I, what do I want, what's important to me. And I was in my house, I was in my living room. It was a beautiful day outside. I opened up the window and I stuck my head out the window into my backyard. And I remember in that moment, with my head out the window, with my body inside, my head outside, and like experiencing outdoors through sticking my head out the window of my house, feeling in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so much fun. Like, this feels so good. I've never really done this before. I didn't realize I could do this. It's like exceptionally rare. However long I'd been living in this house, I never stuck my head out the window. And I loved it. It brought me so much joy. And in that moment, I realized like, wow, I'm somebody who loves sticking her head out the living room window. And that was a massive self-discovery moment for me because I realized something that genuinely brought me joy, that genuinely brought me fulfillment. And it was specific. And it wasn't just like, I have lots of money and my life is great. It was, wow, this sticking my head out this window and experiencing outside and looking at my backyard from this unique angle and perspective is lighting me up, is bringing me joy. And it has nothing to do with money or success or my identity or my beliefs. It's just who I am. Like, this is something that brings me joy. And to discover that was so powerful, and it gave me a new perspective of who I could be if I wasn't chasing these societal versions of success, of just like more and more money and checking more and more boxes. And so in Empowered Abundance, I encourage my clients and I teach my clients how to spend time tapping into their vision, how to access their vision, how to connect with what is genuinely most important to you. What do you really want? And I say all the time, this is vital because you need to know the direction that you want to go. Otherwise, all the effort and time and energy we're putting into creating something might not be generating the results that actually light us up. And yeah, making a lot of money is great. It's awesome. That's still on my list, to make a lot of money. But just making a lot of money on its own isn't really fulfilling unless you know what is genuinely most important to you. And that's when I realized I was a total hippie. I love being outside. Walking around my yard barefoot is my favorite activity. Going for hikes, being in nature, chilling a little bit. I didn't know that before. Traveling, attending retreats. Those are my favorite activities. Those are things I love to do. And I still love working. I still love pursuing my business, but now I know that. And now it's not just about making a lot of money. It's about making money for a purpose, to create the specific life that I uniquely want to live in all the small moment kind of ways. So I teach my clients how to spend time in their vision, because the only way to bring your vision into reality is to bring your vision into the present moment. So often our vision stays stuck in the future. We just leave it there off in someday, hoping that someday we will arrive at it when we check enough boxes or enough external circumstances are reached, or when we have enough money. But that is just not the case. Anytime the vision is in the future, it stays in the future. So not only do I teach my clients how to get clear on what is important to them, but I teach them how to bring that vision into the present right now, today, starting with the money that they already have. And this is what makes living an abundant life right now possible, because it is possible to choose what is most important to you. It is possible to find those same exact moments of joy and bliss and things that are important to you in your vision, and to choose those and prioritize those and experience them now. The more and more clear that I got on my own self and what was important to me, like being outside on a beautiful sunny day, the more that I could choose those things and the more that I could prioritize those things. And you might be thinking like, yeah, Scarlett, but those things don't cost money. And also, there are things in my vision that do cost money, right? Like traveling, attending retreats, but there are also things in my vision that don't cost a lot of money too. And that's really the magic of this work, is when we get clear on our vision, we can see what actually has to happen to bring it into reality. And there are lots of things in your vision that you can actually prioritize and create now. Might not be the end all be all, like whole big vision where you're cruising on your yacht all the time and never working for like 6 months out of the year. Might not be that yet. That's okay. But you can still take the core essence of that, the core essence of what is most important to you, and you can find ways to create it now, I promise. And often I have found that the things that are genuinely most important to me, the things that I value most, the things that are a part of my vision, they're actually easier for me to say yes to. They're actually more affordable. Something I like to talk about with my clients is the win-win-win scenario. One example, my own personal story of discovering a win-win-win example, is when I found my local farm that does a CSA. CSA stands for Community Shared Agriculture. You basically pay a large amount of money up front, and then you get produce for basically like a produce subscription for 24 weeks during the main share produce season. And so I spend a lot of money up front, and then every week I spend no money and go and pick up local in-season organic produce from a farm near me. It's like the best, highest quality stuff coming from a reputable source that I believe in. I'm supporting local farmers, I'm supporting my local economy, and get this, it's so affordable. I maybe spend, when you add it all up, it's about $35 a week for a ton of high quality local organic produce. It's actually cheaper for me to do it this way than to go to the store, go to Whole Foods and buy the same level of quality of produce. And that's a win-win-win scenario where I am actively living my vision because I'm living a life in alignment with my values. In my vision, I am supporting the local economy. I am eating healthy organic produce. I am shopping locally. All of those things are part of my visions, but I didn't have to wait until I became a millionaire to prioritize that and choose that now. But if I didn't have clarity around what is genuinely most important to me, it's hard for me to create those things. It's hard for me to prioritize these things. And it's hard for me to actually start living my abundant life now. And the point here is that I do have the money. I do have the money to live that piece of my vision starting right now because I know that that's my vision. I know that that's important to me. And I find ways intentionally to create it, to choose it, to prioritize it with my money. Yes, the farm share can be a little challenging for some people because it's a large upfront payment. I drop almost $800 to pay for my farm share in one foul swoop. But I've been doing it, this is my 4th year now, and I know it's part of my vision. I know it's the more affordable option, even though it's a large upfront, and so I save for it. I save for it all year long. It's no skin off my back. I just set aside whatever amount of money every single month, and then by the time the farm share rolls around, I have the money there available to be able to choose it, to be able to invest in it. And this is the same for retreats as well. I know retreats are a priority for me and my vision. I know that they're what is most important. I know that it's the most powerful way I can live my vision right now today. And I actively am strategic with my money to be able to prioritize it right now. And it hasn't always been easy. I am someone who drove a 2004 car for many, many years, the entire time I was growing my business. And before that, I was driving a 1999, right? I very actively say no to other things that are deemed important by a lot of other people because they're not what's genuinely most in alignment with my vision. Now, I'm not saying having a new car is bad. Everyone's vision is different. What is important to you is different than what is important to me. But I am just giving you these examples of how you can bring your vision to life now, but it comes down to first seeing your vision clearly, giving yourself that space, that time, that opportunity to really tap into what does your unique next level of abundance look like? What does your abundant life look like? When you give yourself that time and space to get crystal clear on that, if money wasn't an issue, if you weren't afraid that it wasn't possible, if you weren't afraid that you couldn't achieve it, if you let yourself go there, and the more time you spend on your vision and using specific tools and techniques that I teach in Empowered Abundance to bring that vision into reality more. Not just with how you spend your money, but also with your belief system, your mindset, learning to see your vision as real now, learning to see your vision as true now. That's one of my favorite tools that I get to share in Empowered Abundance, and I practice it all the time. All the time, I see my vision all around me. Even when times are hard, even when there's challenges, even when I still wish I was further ahead, even when there's goals I'm working towards that I haven't achieved yet, I always actively see my vision around me and am bringing my vision to life and am living my vision every single day. And this is a practice. This is a skill set. This is something that can be cultivated. And this is how we bring abundance into reality. I've seen this happen time and time again with my clients. One of my clients, she had been working so hard. She had been working hard. She was so used to checking boxes, similar to me. She had been on the hustle hamster wheel. And when she gave herself this time and space to tap into what was genuinely most important to her, she was surprised to find out that she actually wanted to work less and have more spaciousness in her day to spend time with her kids. Which that might be obvious to some of you, but for her, she was surprised. She was like, oh, actually, I don't really care that much about just like being successful at my work and like doing everything right. And so she found the way to creatively step into that life more and more now. Instead of money stopping her and keeping her at a job she didn't want to be at, she got creative. She got strategic. She sacrificed in other ways that wasn't important to her to decrease her expenses so that she could work less. She knew exactly how much money she needed to bring in every month in order to support her life. And then she discovered that she was able to make that same amount of money working part-time, so that she could spend the rest of her time spending it with her kids. And she was able to choose that, and she was able to create that. Now, we're all starting from different starting points, and we might not be able to make big decisions like that, but when we know what is genuinely most important to us, when we have this clear benchmark, this clear vision, that's when we can prioritize our time, our energy, our money in alignment with that vision so that we can bring it into reality now. And this is a key piece of the empowered abundance process, because all the money in the world doesn't make a difference if you're not using it to create your vision and if you're not actively living your vision right now. Because the thing that I learned when I did hit my big rock bottom moment many, many years ago was that life was passing me by. And that if I kept running on this hustle hamster wheel forever, if I kept going on this race, the finish line would always move. And life was passing me by. I was already losing time. And granted, I was young, but I could see very clearly how the rest of my life could pass me by. So whether you've been running this race for a couple years or several decades, it's time to start living your vision. It's time. It's time right now. This life is short. This life is precious. This life is meant to be enjoyed. This life, you are meant to be happy. You're meant to be fulfilled. You're meant to choose what lights you up, what brings you joy, what brings you fulfillment. You are meant to have that life, and you are meant to have it now, not someday when you're a millionaire. Now, today, you are meant to choose what is most important to you, whether it's as simple as sticking your head out a window or traveling more, pursuing your business, spending time with family, taking more time off, going on adventures, making the impact you're meant to make. You can have it now. I swear you can have it now. It's not always easy. It's not always just like wave a magic wand and here it is. It takes specific tools, specific skill sets in order to create it, and yet it can be done. And I know it can be done because now I am living my vision. I'm living the vision I didn't even realize at that time that I wanted, but I got clear on what my vision was. After I cried in that room with thousands of people, I realized just how far away I was from myself, just how disconnected I was from myself and what was genuinely most important to me. And so I doubled down and said, I am gonna figure it out. I'm going to figure out who I am and what I care about and what kind of life I want to live. And once I discovered that, I set about creating it. And I continue to do this every single day. It's always evolving. It's always unfolding. Who am I now? What's important to me now? And how can I bring that into the present reality today? And this is the magic that I teach you how to do in Empowered Abundance, where I teach you to own your worth and harness the power of your money to bring your vision of your most abundant life into reality starting right now, so that you can live your vision today and continue every day to expand into your unique next level of abundance. Right now, enrollment is open for the next group of Empowered Abundance, which means for the next 2 weeks only, you'll have an opportunity to schedule a free 60-minute consultation with me. During this consultation call, a few things will happen. One is I'm going to help you in getting clear on your current relationship with money and the impact that it's been having on your life. I'm going to help you get clear on what is your vision? What is most important to you? What's your next level of abundance that you are actively stepping into? And then I'm going to show you a step-by-step process for bringing that vision to life. The most simplest, streamlined route that I have discovered through my own journey. And then we're going to explore if Empowered Abundance is the right step for you to support you on your journey. And I'm there to help you decide if this is the right aligned action for you or not. I find these 60-minute calls to be really powerful and really valuable because it gives you the opportunity to reflect in a way that we typically don't in our day-to-day, to have more awareness around what is going on, what current life are you living and why, and how is that different from where you want to go. It's also such a powerful opportunity to decide, how do you want to change it? How do you want to do something about it so that you can walk away with a clear direction, with a clear decision made, with a clear action plan for how to move forward, whether that is joining Empowered Abundance and saying yes to the work that I do in helping you transform your relationship with money, or whether that's deciding that there's something else more in alignment for you that's going to help you get to where you want to go. As a coach, my job is to support you in taking powerful action towards creating your next level life. And that's exactly what we do on these consultation calls, is I show you how you can take action, either by working with me or finding another action that is most in alignment for you. So again, enrollment is open now for the next 2 weeks only. So if you're listening to this and you are ready to step into your next level of abundance, if you're ready to get clear on what is your vision, what is your unique abundant life look like, and how can you bring that into reality, not someday off into the future, but today, starting right now, making real momentum and progress towards bringing that vision to life instead of waiting, then Empowered Abundance is the perfect program to help you do that. You can schedule your free consultation with me using the link in the show notes below, or by going to my website, thebizhippie.com/abundance. Okay, that is all for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Money Monday, and I will see you next week.